we got everyone and their mother talking about Palantir. And that's going to be, I mean, Jesus Christ, a little late, people. They're saying it's the end of everything because Trump is using Palantir, tapping Palantir, as if, I just don't even understand. This would be $480 million, 480,000, 480 million. This is going to be in May. So it's not like this is new. But anyways, if people might think that Palantir is a little too pricey here, or a lot of people think Palantir is overvalued, well, these could be Palantir. These are Palantir-related companies. So you're going to have Archer Aviation. They are on somewhat of a downswing, but how low do they get? They could get down to $8 range. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that with something. Could they get back down to $5 range? Maybe. That would be a little. But what's their connection to Palantir? Well, the airline, the air industry. Palantir and Archer formed a strategic partnership to integrate artificial intelligence in the next generation aviation technologies. I think they'll end up doing the AI that basically runs the airlines that the FAA is going to pick. Has this all just started coming about? Well, not too recently. You've had Adam Goldstein, that's going to be Archer CEO. He's been having meetings going a little back, if you follow the news, about him and Alex Karp, meeting to discuss collaborations. So that Archer Aviation versus Rocket Lab, those are two totally different fucking companies. How do you even compare those two? But anyways, so Archer Aviation, Palantir, that they definitely have a strong connection there. And the Midnight, I'm pretty sure, if I look. Well, this one was from 2 weeks ago. And you also have in the United Arab Emirates and the United Arab Emirates. They also just bought Palantir. So that to work with their government. So that is also, you could say that is definitely interesting. Then another littler guy you could have is Onds. Now, Onds is a cheap one, and they've had highs of $3. Everything was doing very well during that time. But Onds, they had their quarter one earnings they look decent, you could say here. If we look, this was going to be reported strong Q1 earnings, financial 500% year-over-year growth. Now, that you could say is impressive. So, well, for 2025, revenue target of 25 million, supported by a backlog of 16.8. And they have the new orders for the Iron Dome and Optimus platforms across multiple regions. So they're going to sell drones, and they're also going to sell communications. And their Palantir strategic partnership formed with Palantir's Technologies and Validas Aerospace. That one. So it's going to be their platform. Proprietary. That means they have a patent on it. Nobody else can use it. This kind of reminds me of Paraso. You know, Onds and Paraso. I guess if I had to say Onds over Paraso, I might say Onds because of the Palantir partnership. Palantir is going to have a lot to do. They're going to be doing everything. So they definitely are going to have to outsource to these other companies here that they've partnered with. And this one, critical mission application, secure, long-range, low latency, high through output connectivity for critical infrastructure. That's going to be important. They also had that railway contract where they're going to be providing the communication systems for the railways, important, and embeds them. And then this would be their Ondas autonomous system, an AI fully powered drone platform with imaging payloads for data collection in rugged environments. Dude. Oh my God. They also have a counter drone system using AI driven vision and ballistic net. The drone industry is supposed to be going, so this year I believe it was 17.9 million, and then it's billion, 17 billion, either last year or 2023 or around now. And then by 2030, the drone industry is supposed to be 150 billion. So they're going to need drones. A ruggedized base station. That base station for drone data processing and cloud transfer. You could say that's going to be important. A secure web portal for API for remote interaction analytics. So that would be Onds, another little guy, but how little for how long? Because you also, Palantir's rise, they were little. A long time ago. Palantir, they were little. So I'll look it up. And whoever they're partnering with, I guess we'll see, because another one they're partnering with, BBAI. This one's going to be the surveillance. And they have just been doing interesting things. Now, this was not interesting. They did go all the way up because they'd gone up. You have Big Bear Secure's major Department of Defense contract to enhance AI threat detection. Kevin McLean is leadership. That's when they got Kevin as the CEO. So he definitely was a driving force, I want to say. Focus on national security, boost revenue, unique computer vision tech set apart from C3 AI, position as high risk, high reward. Definitely, as we saw, they went down. But so did everything. And now they've been making some moves in the past couple months. Not 3 months. Well, yes, basically. So one of the ones I'm confident with BBI, Shipyard, they're going to be, so the new Navy dude, Shipyard AI, they partnered with this one, Austral, and they keep talking about this Austral Shipyard AI platform, U.S. Navy submarine production. And the new head of the Navy, and even Pete Hegseth, so the head Navy, John Fellon, he keeps talking about revitalizing the Navy, opening more Navy ships, because apparently China has way more boats than us. And they just put out this report that said China's this big giant threat. So they're definitely going to want to do stuff with the Navy. And you at BVI, they're already involved in that. So they have the Solutions of Defense today announced powered A1ML powered Navy manufacturing, planning, and production platform for Austral, one of the largest shipbuilders in the United States, and module supplier for U.S. Navy submarines in support of a significant modernization investment at its Mobile, Alabama headquarters. And from what John Fellon says, he wants to modernize all of them. And they also keep talking about this thing, streamlining, that they don't want to be paying contractors to do things that they don't need to do when they could just hire an AI system company like Big Bear. So that's one thing that I think they're going to do. And then also the biometric screenings, which, these are going to start happening anyway. So I guess the quicker everyone just deals with that, the better. So biometric boarding solutions for airplanes, because he was the Homeland Security person, so he definitely has Homeland Security stuff in mind as well. So BVI, incredibly fucking poised. And then, of course, like I said, the thing about the drones, there's going to be so many fucking drones over our heads, we're not even going to know what to do. Jesus Christ. They call the Middle East a laboratory for a reason. And then you're going to have, see another one that was up. Highs. And Red Cat, Palantir partnership. I think they're going to have a lot to do with security. And they're not even trying to hide their villainous ways. They're going to call it the Black Widow. Jesus Christ. With autonomous visual navigation and warp speed for GPS compromised environments. And this one, they're out of Puerto Rico. Today announced a strategic partnership. That was back in December, Red Cat and Palantir. So this, definitely huge. Definitely. And all the Palantir talk all of a sudden reminds everyone of Peter Thiel. Well, Peter Thiel, he has a little fund, a little bad boy called the Founders Fund. And another thing you could just really do is look up Peter Thiel's stuff. And listed right at the top, Palantir, Anduril just partnered with Facebook. That's a Palmer Lucky dude. He's a fucking psychopath. Airbnb. Any of these really, you could say. Neuralink, well, a lot of these are not publicly traded. A funny one, Affirm. Affirm's the one that people were using to go to Coachella. How interesting. But that's one of those. That's a Peter Thiel bad boy. So if people think that Peter Thiel and they're trying to, infiltrate the government and do all these things and that everyone's doomed, then you might as well just invest in them. I mean, you already think you're doomed anyways, right? So you could invest some money and then maybe try to save yourself and your family. And then you could donate to other causes. Start your own things, right? Because you always say, all the leftists, they constantly talk about how there's not going to be any public funding. Well, then why don't we just try to make our own public funding for people? But anyways, Oscar, that one, I am, because this one has to do with telehealth, dude. And they're at a low. They are really at a year low. And it is my guess that Peter Thiel, if we want to believe what people say, then when ending the public healthcare, get people going to private healthcare because they would have no alternative. But then also, a good thing that I think that Trump might try to do is actually make it so these companies can't charge so much money. And then that could be good because then maybe people wouldn't even really need the health insurance companies anymore. Like, maybe that's one of their kind of plans, to get these big giant healthcare companies, United Healthcare, Blue Cross Blue Shield, maybe tell them, fuck you guys, we don't need you anymore. There's two compasses. One of them is for psychedelics, and the other one is for lending and mortgage stuff. Well, there's Blend Labs, right? But this one, the psychedelic one, and then another company called ATAI, they have investment. They have owned 20% of Compass. God damn it, I'm still pissed about that one. I went into the wrong psychedelic. on May fucking 15th. And look what I could have had with fucking ATAI. Goddamn. Oh well, they'll go back down. They always do. But ATAI and Compass, those, I think they're going to make psychedelic therapies illegal. Because why not? Look at all the stuff they're going to do. They're going to have to let people get fucking... But then Blend Labs, that one has to do with AI mortgage. And this Blend Lab company is already selling their AI platforms. They're connected to several prominent banking institutions. So I think these guys, once those rates are lowered, and then the other one would be with Compass. This one's like an AI-powered realtor matcher or whatever. I think these guys are another one that could be real nice when those rates are cut. So, Polymarket, all these things, these are all Peter Thiel's. Credit Karma, interesting. Anyways, if people think that's what's happening, I would start investing, that's Blend Lab, start investing in Peter Thiel and Palantir related companies.